This is John Colo with DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you, and what we're going to do in this episode is actually do a juice-off comparison test between two juicers that are on the market at this time. So I really love doing these juice-off comparisons where I get to compare two different juicers to each other so that you guys can learn which juicer is the best and which one you might want to buy. Now, at this time, I have over 450 videos comparing all different kinds of juicers and going into the specifics of specific brand juicers so that you guys could choose the right one if you guys are researching juicers. So I do encourage you guys to check my other videos, over 450 of them, to find and get the right juicer for you. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below to be notified of my new and upcoming episodes of coming out about every 5 to 7 days, because you never know what juicers I'll be comparing. In any case, the juicers that we'll be comparing today are both high-speed centrifugal ejection style machines. These machines have been on the market now for, I don't know, maybe 30 years or something like that. And let me say this, right? I'll be the first to say that centrifugal ejection style machines, you know, back in the 1980s or maybe the 1990s, early 1990s, they were good because there wasn't so many other options for juicers and kinds of juicers that made the highest quality juice. Nowadays, you know, there's slow juicers or cold press juicers that create a much higher quality juice, in my opinion, and are especially more efficient at juicing certain produce items such as leafy greens and fruits than these machines are. So be sure to check my other videos for videos on the slow juicers and how they may be better for your specific needs. You know, for the reason why these machines are really so popular is, number one, the price. These are the least expensive price category of juicers on the market. Number two, they're fast, right? I'm not going to deny that fact. You know, you could create a glass of juice and you could be done. And everybody's always worried about the time and all this kind of stuff. How long does it take to eat healthy and all this stuff? And what I want to tell you is this, I got into juicing only because I almost lost my life. And my health is my greatest wealth. Not the money, not time, not anything. If I'm going to take the time to juice and juice healthy fruits and vegetables to get those into me, I want to, use the juicer that's going to get the highest yield on the produce I'll be juicing the most, but also have, besides the yield, a high quality juice with the most amount of vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients and phytochemicals, which are really the active components of the juice and why they're so good for us. Otherwise, if these phytochemicals and phytonutrients weren't so good for us, people would just eat McDonald's and be great. Well, people are eating fast food, junk food, the McDonald's, and coming down with all kinds of health conditions, right? And that's why we really need to get back to eating fruits and vegetables. And that's what, all people that teach about health, they could all agree that we need to eat more, especially the vegetables, and especially the leafy green vegetables. Nobody will deny that fact. And the juicers are here to allow you to concentrate these beneficial vegetables and get them into you. So for example, we could take 1 pound of carrots and we'll reduce the 1 pound of carrots into simply 1 cup of juice. And that's the average amount of juice that 1 pound of carrots will make. And in a little bit, we'll see how much carrot juice these juicers make. Anyways, the juicers today that we'll be sharing with you guys, I got this one. This is called the Quintessential Centrifugal Ejection Juicer. It looks nice because it has a stainless steel housing on the outside, but most of the construction is plastic. And then over on this side we have the Liquip 215 XL juicer. I've been using this juicer and offering this juicer for you guys for many years now. Centrifugal ejection juicers are very inexpensive machines. You could go down to your local big box store and buy an inexpensive juicer, but people don't realize that, the money you spend in a juicer could be wasted, maybe in as short as a year, or it could be an investment. And I want you guys to make an investment in your juicer, to buy a good juicer and one that will last for many years. The reason why I say this is because the juicer will allow you to get more fruits and vegetables in you, which will allow you to turn your health around if you're having some health challenges. This will allow you to have more energy, be more focused, be more clear, lose weight. One of the biggest reasons why people like juicing is because it's one of the best ways, in my opinion, to lose weight, to get high nutrients and lower calorie foods than what most people are eating. And when you invest in a juicer that has a long warranty, you know, it's going to be guaranteed you're going to be able to juice for, say, the next 10 years. Like this L'Equip 215 XL has a 10-year warranty on the whole entire machine, except the juicing blade and basket, which is only a 3-year warranty. But that is a wearable part. Like even auto manufacturers don't, you know, warranty the brake pads on your car, for example, right? And that's why I really like the name brand juicers that work well. Over on this side, the Quintessential, or whatever it is, Quintessential juicer, you know, on the box of the juicer, on the website where this juicer was purchased, even in the instruction booklet that came with it, there's no mention of a warranty. So I even wonder if there is even a warranty with the machine. And if there is a warranty, more than likely it's a short 30 days or 90 days, if that. Maybe there's even no warranty, because some products these days may not come with a warranty, right? So yeah, be very wary of juicers with short warranties, because guess what? If there's a short warranty, that means the company that put it out knows that it may break really soon, and they don't want to basically warranty it because they're going to lose money, right? Because they're just trying to pump out cheap, disposable stuff from China or wherever it's coming from, and get your money, make their profit, and then go on their merry way. Where then you're stuck with a juicer that doesn't work, you can't get parts for, and then that goes to the landfill, and then you got to buy another juicer. So at present time, you know, the L'Equip, it's about double the cost of this machine here. But in this video, you're going to learn why it's double the cost, and why, if you are going to get a centrifugal ejection machine, you will want to pay more money. So number one is the warranty. 10 years of warranty versus question mark warranty, if there even is one. Another thing that I found very curious in this booklet here about the juicer, they go through all the instruction manual, and it says on here, this is pretty lame in my opinion, please note, do not leave the juicer running for more than 3 minutes at a time. If the appliance has been running for 3 minutes, allow it to cool down for 20 minutes before you use it again. Are you serious? You can only juice for 3 minutes straight, and then you got to shut this thing down? I mean, this is why you do not want to buy an inexpensive juicer, because they have, if it's an inexpensive juicer, they've really cut corners when making it, in my opinion, and maybe like put a cheaper motor in there that can't handle long-term use. And I want to caution you guys, you know, when shopping for a juicer, don't just go by the wattage of the juicer. You know, even though a juicer may be less wattage, it may be more efficient overall. You could put like a high wattage motor, and it doesn't mean it's going to be a good motor. It doesn't mean it's a quality motor. It just means it could draw more power and maybe actually an inefficient motor, right? So there's a lot of deceptive ways that marketers use to sell you their machine. Now both these machines look nice. This one actually looks a bit nicer because of the stainless steel here, but it's very thin, if you guys could feel tinny. So it's kind of like one of those grills that looks good from far away, then you get close up and you're like, ugh. So this looks good, you know, from far away, but then close up, once you inspect it, it's not so good. So yeah, warranty, you know, time you could use it. Next, let's talk about where these machines are made. So this machine is made in China. And you know, there's a lot of products that come from China, like I won't feed my dog food that came out of China, and I don't like to eat food myself that came out of China. But not to say that China is bad, but there's a lot of products that come out that aren't so good quality. And so the L'Equip over here is actually made in Korea. So some of the Korean cars, such as the Hyundai, you know, have in later years now actually really high, you know, marks for its long-term durability. Actually, I own a Hyundai myself. This is a disclaimer. But yeah, so this one's made in Korea, and now I want to go ahead and disassemble both these machines and show you guys the parts side by side so I could explain to you guys the differences between them. First, we have the pushers. So the pushers, just instantly picking them up, I could feel the L'Equip pusher a little bit heavier than the Quintessential pusher there. They're both 3-inch wide and approximately the same size. L'Equip has a nice cutout for it, and I'll tell you why that's there. And the Quintessential has a smaller cutout on their pusher there. Next, we're going to go ahead and take the machines apart. The L'Equip actually has two little latch arms, 1, 2, and what I do need to say is that built into these latch arms, if these latch arms are not properly latched, the machine will not turn on. As does a Quintessential. a juicer that has a one big latch arm. If this latch arm is down, it will not allow the juicer to turn on. So that's a very important safety feature, minimum safety feature that they have. Next, let's go ahead and take these two tops apart. As you guys can see, this is a clear housing here and a clear housing here. And you might be saying, John, they look like the same, man. Why would I spend double for this one? Well, number one, when I'm lifting it up and feeling them, this piece is heavier than this piece. So this is like thinner plastic. I don't know if you can like tap on this. You hear it's like solid resonance. Much thicker plastic, higher quality. If we tap on the plastic on this one, it's much higher pitch, which means it's thinner. The other thing I like to talk about is, on the back side of this machine, once the pulp gets spun around, it spins around and then kicks back over here and then is forced down into the basket. Whereas this one, basically the pulp spins around and then it kind of just haphazardly will come out and fall out. The other thing that's very important to me on these are the built-in safety. So there's this little piece here, I don't know if you guys can see that, but it extends at least half the way out into the chamber. And when you're feeding things in, that can be a pain, but the reason why they put that there is for safety, so that you don't stick your hand in there, especially if you're a kid. You could get your hand down in there, and this prevents you really from getting your hands down in the blade. Whereas a Quist Essential actually has a little small tab here, that doesn't really do much, and I could easily get my hand in the blade. I'm an adult, right? I mean, and that's not good. I always want to encourage you guys to supervise your kids when juicing and watch them very closely. So here on this guy, I can put my hand in there and I can barely hit the blade, but I really get stopped up. Still, this would not be good, but this is going to do a lot more to prevent you from actually getting your hand in there. Next piece I want to go over is a juicing basket, which is actually quite similar on both machines here. And this is probably one of the most important components of the juicer itself. Here's the basket on the Quist Essential, and here's the basket on the L'Equip. So they both look fairly similar. They're both all stainless steel, which is really nice. Some of these guys are plastic, have plastic framing, and they both have a bottom, plastic on the bottom. I mean, on that, like pretty much, it looks like they're pretty similar, but they're a little bit different because what really matters on the juicer is that it's designed properly. So there's a really nice rake on this machine. So like the rake is like the angle. If it's like this or like this, the L'Equip angle is probably about like that. And then we got these sharp cutting teeth that I could run my fingers across and I'm like, wow, actually I think it put scratch marks on my finger there. Yeah, don't do this at home. You could cut yourself. But then now the rake on this machine, instead of being more like angled like the L'Equip, it's kind of more straight up. So this will affect how the pulp spins around, how much juice comes out, and then how it's actually ejected out. L'Equip has been making this juicer for many years now, and they've really got it dialed in. It's really a nice juicer, and I'm not sure about this one. And then over on the blades on here, the teeth, they're fairly sharp too. So that's definitely really important. Now the interesting part is they got these two blades in the middle, and this is a trademark from another juicer, Breville, on the market. And on the Breville, these are actually kind of sharp blades, and on these, they're really not that sharp. So they're just there for looks, in my opinion. Next, we get the bowl. So the bowl on this looks cool. It's like, oh yeah, man, it's stainless steel. But then you pull this out, and look at this. The 100% plastic with just a stainless steel spout coming out. But on the L'Equip, I mean, this is what you're paying for. You're paying for stainless steel quality. Look at that. Stainless steel versus plastic. There's also some really hard nooks and crannies to get into with a brush on here. Tight, narrow passageways to clean out when you're done cleaning. Also, the plastic will tend to stain more. You could set stains in there. And on the L'Equip, basically what we're looking at is we're looking at a stainless steel bowl. So literally when you rinse this with hot water, the pulp and the juice just melts off this stuff. Plus, look, I could easily get my finger in there. You could get a brush in there, easy to clean, because there's not as much, small, tight nooks and crannies to clean. So this is going to save you guys time when cleaning. Next thing I want to talk about is the juice catch containers here. They're both fairly similar, but it looks like to me that the L'Equip catch container will hold a larger volume of produce. Finally, we got our motor bases here. Let's see, picking this up, it's, a little bit heavy. Picking this up, both equally heavy. And I think the main thing with the motors is getting a motor that has a long warranty. the motor is the least likely thing to fail on a properly designed juicer, but it's the most likely thing to fail on a cheap, inexpensive juicer. You know, one of my first juicers I got at a local big box store before I knew about juicers, you know, I was putting parsley in there, and I literally stopped the juicer up because I put too much strain on it, and it started smoking because I had a really weak, inexpensive motor. But that's what you get. You know, you guys get what you pay for, and you guys know that. So next I want to go ahead and reassemble these machines on the L'Equip. It's actually quite easy. Oh, the other thing I want to talk about is the built-in splash guard on the L'Equip. I just saw this and remembered. On the L'Equip here, you know, he's got the spout where the juice comes out, and I don't know if you guys could see that inside the spout, but there's a little, half of it is actually cut off. And basically this minimizes the splashing as the juice comes out of the machine. We can stick that on there. And over on the Quintessential, they don't really have that splash guard thing. They just have like a little nub there, so you actually can't stick your finger back up through there, which is actually good. Anyways, we'll put that down in there. Next, we're going to take the juicing screen that just kind of goes and make sure it seats into place on the L'Equip. Once again, it seats into place. We'll put that top on the Quintessential. Oh, and actually right here is where they have their safety switch. Lock that shut. Then over on the L'Equip, take that piece, put it down, line it up, latch arms down, and we're all ready and set up. Next I want to do is a sound test for you guys to show you guys the sound of both machines. So now we're going to go ahead and do a sound test for both these machines. First, the L'Equip. Now this machine runs at 11,000 RPM. That's revolutions per minute. That's actually quite fast for a juicer. The juicer I personally use on my own kitchen runs at 43 revolutions per minute. So I always encourage you guys, if you can afford it, get a slow juicer. You're going to get a higher yields overall when juicing a wide variety of produce, and you're going to get a higher nutrient quality. Let's go ahead and turn this baby on. 11,000 RPM. I mean, it's definitely loud, but not too loud. Over on the Quintessential, basically it's a 2-speed juicer, so they have 2 speeds. And on in the booklet here that came with the machine, on the box that came with the machine, and on the website that was selling the machine, they don't mention any kind of RPMs. So actually I had to do some further digging and found out this machine is made in China, and I found the factory that actually makes it in China. And on that webpage they said the RPMs are 14,000 for the low speed and 18,000 for the high speed. This is definitely one of the fastest juicers that I've ever seen. So let's go ahead and turn it on the low speed. So that's definitely a little bit louder. That's on 14,000 RPM. Let's crank it to speed 2. That's 18,000 revolutions per minute. Actually, that seems to be a little bit quieter. So yeah, let's go ahead and turn that off. Now some people have described these style machines as, it sounds like an airplane taking off in my kitchen, John. And yes, that's one of the downsides of, well, one of the downsides of the high-speed machines is that they can be a little bit louder. I guess the next thing I want to do is actually we're going to go ahead and juice equal amounts of carrots and an Asian pear in each machine to see which juicer will reign supreme in this juice off comparison. So I'm going to go ahead and get the carrots and show you guys the weigh-in. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and do the weigh-in. Basically what we got is organic Bunny Love carrots that have been washed and topped and bottomed, and then 1 Asian pear, 9 carrots, 1 pear on each side. So what we're going to do next, let's go ahead and take a look at the scales to make sure we have a fair fight today. Alright, so now we got the weigh-in over on the Quintessential juicer side. Looks like we got a total of 19.4 ounces, 9 carrots, 1 Asian pear. Over on the L'Equip 215 XL side, looks like we got also 29.4 ounces. So this looks like it's going to be an even fight. Alright, so now that you guys saw, we have an equal fight and equal amounts of carrots and Asian pear. Next we're going to go ahead and get to juicing. So what I've done today is we got a standard 1 quart Anchor Hocking measuring cup, so we can actually see which juicer will reign supreme in this juice off. And then the final thing and tip I'd like to give you guys is you want to get a standard produce bag and you want to line the pulp collection bin with the produce bag, because this is going to make cleanup easier. So then you could actually just take out the pulp out of the line bin instead of having to wash the bin. Definitely going to save you some time. Alright, so now we're all set up. Now, today what I'll be juicing in both machines are hard fruits and hard vegetables, root vegetables. And these are the foods that will be best juiced in these style machines. They're going to get a really high yield. But if I was to say juice a head of kale or parsley, cilantro, or spinach, it's not really going to get a high yield due to the way this extracts the juice. It basically shreds up and kicks out the pulp. This is really designed for hard vegetables and hard firm fruits such as apples and pears. When you're juicing other things, like softer fruits like oranges, for example, it's going to kick out a lot of the wet pulp in the pulp catch bin, so you're going to be wasting a lot of money. So as much as they're fast, once again, every juicer has their pros and cons. The pros are it's fast, they're inexpensive. The cons are you're going to get less yield. So that means you're going to be throwing money down the drain. So for that reason, I encourage you guys to get a slow juicer. In addition, there is a testing that came out a few years ago that shows juice made in a high-speed juicer compared to juice in a low-speed juicer. The juice in the low-speed juicer had more cancer-inhibiting effect when they put the juice from broccoli in a petri dish with 6 different active live cancer cells. So I know a lot of you guys get into juicing for disease prevention, and in published scientific studies it shows that the slow juicer actually has more of the beneficial polyphenols and antioxidants in there that may be more effective against diseases and cancers, in my opinion. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get juicing. First, we're going to go ahead and juice in the L'Equip. Turn that baby on. Why don't we juice that Asian pear first? Look, that fits right in there. Push it right in. You always want to take your time when juicing. Don't push things in too fast. Let's see, there's one carrot. Look at that, coming right out. It's been a long time since I juiced in one of these high-speed juicers, since I normally use a slow juicer at home. But yeah, this is working very well. We're getting a little bit of splashing. But yeah, cranking right through. The pulp's getting kicked back into the pulp collecting bin. No problem whatsoever. Alright, last carrot in the L'Equip 215XL. Right through without any difficulties. Let's go ahead and turn this baby off. We'll let that drip a little bit, and now we're going to go ahead and turn to the Quintessential juicer. Turn this baby on. We're going to turn this up on high speed, 18,000 RPMs. Crank it up. Go ahead and put that Asian pear in there. We are getting a little bit of spraying of the pulp coming out. I don't think we really got that on the L'Equip. Really kicking the pulp out quite good, so if it still continues to circle around, we got some pulp blockages in the back there. We're really getting a lot of splashing out of the front here. Alright, last carrot. Going right in. Okay, now let's go ahead and turn this baby off. Alright, so let's see. That machine was probably a little bit faster. It was a little bit louder. It probably blew a little bit more, juice around than the L'Equip there. High-speed juicers tend to do this. I never have juice splatter on my low-speed machines. And yeah, I guess next let's go ahead and compare the yields. And to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pour the juices into these 2 cups, and we're going to go ahead and strain it to find out, what juicer also made more pulp in the juice as well as the yield. Alright, so first step on any centrifugal ejection juicer, I always encourage you guys to do is take the juicer and tip it up. As you guys can see, we're pouring out a lot more juice out of there. And you know, it's better that the juice goes into you than down the kitchen sink when you wash the machine. So it looks like we got all the major juice out of there. Next, we're going to go ahead and take this juicer, tip it up. Let's see how much juice we got in there. Not much, actually, not much. So most of the juice came out already. Next, we're going to go ahead and take our little strainers here and put these in. Let's go ahead and first pour out this juice here. Show you guys the consistency. Yeah, one of the things I don't like about the high-speed machines is that they generally make more foam, and that's basically aeration of the juice, and that the extra aeration causes oxidation. And some people, unfortunately, even in the slow juicer market, some manufacturers still claim that high-speed juicers such as these heat your juice up. And in my opinion, that's totally false. These do not heat the juice up. Actually, in my testing, the high-speed machines such as these actually did not heat the juice up. It actually ended up in a little bit colder juice than what I started with. But what these juicers do is they do oxidize the juice quite badly, in my opinion, through all the oxygen. And you guys could see like all the foam that was created, you know, with this juicer. So yeah, lots of foam coming out of this machine, and there's going to be a fair bit of pulp, you know, that was generated as well. So let's go ahead and let this kind of sit there and sift while we check out the Liquip juice. So once again, here's the Liquip juice. Pouring that out, definitely much less pulp in the juice for sure. Yeah, significantly less pulp, and in my opinion, less aeration in the juice as well. Wow, man, you'd be drinking a lot of foam on this side. Alright, let's go ahead now and give you guys a close-up of how much each juicer produced. Alright, let's go ahead and take a close-up on the yields. Over on the Quintessential side, looks like we got, let's see, the 400 milliliters just under that. Maybe in between the 350 and 400, maybe like right in the middle. I would call that 375 milliliters of juice. Then over on the Liquip side, looks like we got, man, it's almost 400 milliliters of juice. So I'm going to say that's like 395 milliliters of juice. So yeah, definitely a really close. So aside just from the quantity made, I want to also see if you guys could look at that, if I could get both these in the shot at the same time. Do you guys see the difference in the color of the juices? To me, the juice on the Liquip side, you know, looks that it's a little bit lighter in color, and the juice on the Quintessential side looks a bit darker in color. I don't know if you guys could see that in the HD camera, but let's go ahead and talk about that. So yeah, one juice looked a little bit darker to me than the other, so I think this side, the Quintessential juicer side, was a bit darker. What does that mean? That means that it may have been aerated more, which causes it to turn more brown or oxidize faster. And this is probably because it runs at what, 18,000 RPMs versus the 11,000 on the Liquip, which is significantly faster. And it's kind of like when you cut open an apple and it turns brown after you cut it open. That's oxidation. And over on this side, it looks like there's definitely a lot of pulp on there. And over on this side, I mean, it looks like there's a lot of pulp, but the pulp's thinner, you know, on this side. So let's actually just weigh the pulp here. Turn on the scales. So the pulp over on the Quintessential side with the strainer is 4.4, and with the same strainer, 3.3. So, you know, minimally there's like 1 ounce extra of pulp on this side that you would have been drinking in your juice, which, you know, most people like a really fine strain juice with minimal pulp. So yeah, let's go ahead and do a taste test on these guys. First I'll taste the Quintessential juice. Once we strain it, once again, nice texture there. Tastes good to me. I still taste some fine particulate bits. You guys could see that where I poured it out. There's still bits that even went through this fine strainer. Let's go ahead and try the Liquip juice. Mmm. Wow. Much better mouthfeel. I don't know if you guys could see that on there, but see like all the little bits where I poured it, and on the L'Equip side, there's like not those little bits. So those little bits will be artificially inflating the quantity of the juice by a little bit. And next time I have to use a finer strainer to do one of these tests. But yeah, the L'Equip juice definitely tastes better to me. Much more smooth going down. Man, I gotta admit, I really love carrot juice coming out of a centrifugal ejection machine. It just tastes better than juice made in a slow juicer. I don't know why it just tastes better. Even better than a juice made out of a centrifugal ejection. I really like the cold press juices with like a hydraulic press. In any case, you guys saw how both these machines operated. They're both very similar. I mean, within 5% of each other. Should you get this one? Should you get this one? You know, and what I'll tell you is this. If you want a quality juicer that's going to last a long time, get the L'Equip juicer. You know, it has a 10-year warranty on the whole entire machine, 3 years on the blade and basket. Over on this side, I mean, it only made 5% less juice. The machine's half the price at present time, but the warranty, if it even comes with one, you know, is really short, if it does have one. Also, you can only use it for 3 minutes max. So if you're going to be going on a juice fast, this is not the juicer for you. What I recommend, if you guys like are maybe going to juice once a year, or maybe get a juicer, you know, to show your kids once, this is a good disposable, inexpensive machine to buy. But if you, on the other hand, want to make lifestyle changes, you're going to be juicing every day, cranking so much juice through there so that you can get rid of your soda pop, get rid of your coffee, get rid of all those energy drinks you're drinking, get the L'Equip. It's going to be around for a long time. It's more durable. It's time proven. I've been selling this model for over 5 years now. We have very little problems with it. And, you know, once again, you guys get what you pay for. If you guys are looking for a juicer, I would encourage you guys to support me and my work if you enjoyed this video by making your purchase at discountjuicers.com. When you make your purchase at discountjuicers.com, you allow me to make videos like this and other educational videos that I make online for you guys, to teach you guys about how to grow your food, teach you guys how to juice it, teach you guys why you should be eating your fresh fruits and vegetables. So I want to thank you guys that have supported me in the past, and thank you in advance for those of you guys that will support me and make your purchase there in the future. You know, it's kind of like akin to like supporting a local farmer. Well, support your local independent, you know, juicer seller, so I can continue to do what I do. And with that, I'm going to have to declare the winner of this juice off, the L'Equip 215 XL. Not only did it make 5% more juice, not only did the juice taste better because it had less particulate in there even after straining, not only did it make less pulp, not only does it have a significantly longer warranty, not only does it run at a lower RPM, not only did it have a higher quality juice, it's there by a good company that's there to stand behind their machine. And yeah, that's the one I would get if I was getting a high-speed centrifugal ejection machine. That being said, I personally use a slow juicer at home. And aside from doing these juice off demos, these sit on the counter, on the shelf, right? So I don't really use them. But yeah, I want to encourage you guys to check out my other videos about the comparisons between high-speed and low-speed machines. You know, those videos will boggle your mind when you see the differences in when you juice in both of them, and what the juice looks like, and what the yield can be, all this kind of stuff. If you guys enjoyed this episode, hey, please be sure to give me a thumbs up to let me know. Also be sure to check my past videos, over 450 videos now, demonstrating, comparing, and educating you guys about juicers and why you should be juicing, how to pick out produce, you know, all this kind of stuff. And then also be sure to click the subscribe button right down below to be notified of my new and upcoming episodes. I'm coming out about every 5 to 7 days because you never know what juicers I'll be comparing or what you'll learn on my YouTube channel. And finally, be sure to visit discountjuicers.com and support me and my work. I do appreciate it. So once again, my name is John Kohler with discountjuicers.com. Be sure to visit discountjuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for YouTube visitors. Alright, this is John Kohler with discountjuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you, and what I'm going to do in this episode is share with you guys the best way to get more vegetables in you. So congratulations, if you clicked on this video, you probably don't like vegetables or don't like them too much, and maybe even hate them. but you know that they are beneficial and that you should be getting more into. So before I share with you guys Alright, this is John Colo with DiscountJuicers.com. Through another exciting episode for you. And what we're going to do in this episode is actually do a juice off comparison test between two juicers that are on the market at this time. So I really love doing these juice off comparisons where I get to compare two different juicers to each other so that you guys can learn which juicer is the best and which one you might want to buy. Now at this time I have over 450 videos comparing all different kinds of juicers and going into the specifics of specific brand juicers so that you guys could choose the right one if you guys are researching juicers. So I do encourage you guys to check my other videos, over 450 of them, to find and get the right juicer for you. Also be sure to click that subscribe button right down below to be notified of my new and upcoming episodes that are coming out about every 5 to 7 days, because you never know what juicers I'll be comparing. In any case, the juicers that we'll be comparing today are both high-speed centrifugal ejection style machines. These machines have been on the market now for, man, I don't know, maybe 30 years or something like that. And let me say this, right? I'll be the first to say that centrifugal ejection style machines, you know, back in the 1980s or maybe the 1990s, early 1990s, I mean, they were good because there wasn't so many other options for juicers and kinds of juicers that made the highest quality juice. Nowadays, you know, there's slow juicers or cold press juicers that create a much higher quality juice, in my opinion, and are especially more efficient at juicing certain produce items such as leafy greens and fruits than these machines are. So be sure to check my other videos for videos on the slow juicers and how they may be you know, better for your specific needs. You know, for the reason why these machines are really so popular is, number one, the price. These are the least expensive price category of juicers on the market. Number two, they're fast, right? I'm not going to deny that fact. You know, you could create a glass of juice and you could be done. And I mean, everybody is always worried about the time and all this kind of stuff. How long does it take to eat healthy and all this stuff? And what I want to tell you is this, like, you know, me, I got into juicing only because I almost lost my life. And my health is my greatest wealth. Not the money, not time, not anything. If I'm going to take the time to juice and juice healthy fruits and vegetables to get those into me, I want to, you know, use the juicer that's going to get the highest yield on the produce I'll be juicing the most, but also have, besides the yield, a high quality juice with the most amount of vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients and phytochemicals, which are really the active components of the juice and why they're so good for us. I mean, otherwise, if these phytochemicals and phytonutrients weren't so good for us, people would just eat McDonald's and be great. Well, people are eating fast food, junk food, the McDonald's, and coming down with all kinds of health conditions, right? And that's why we really need to get back to eating fruits and vegetables. And that's what, I mean, all people that teach about health, they could all agree that we need to eat more, especially the vegetables, and especially the leafy green vegetables. Nobody will deny that fact. And the juice